All right, so today we're talking about Ralph's room rules. And I know what you might be thinking, rules for a teenager's room? But stick with me, because this story isn't just about cleaning up. It's about how a simple idea can unlock something, well, kind of profound about freedom, dignity, and finding a little bit of magic in the daily grind.
So let's kick things off with a question that honestly sounds like a total contradiction. Can rules actually make you more free? I mean, we're all taught that rules are about limits, right? They're restrictions. But the story we're diving into today is going to flip that idea completely on its head. Let's see how.
Okay, so Section 1, a teenager's messy room. Our story starts in a place, let's be real, a lot of us know this place all too well. Maybe from when we were kids, or maybe because we're living with a teenager right now. All right, so let's meet our main character, Ralph. He's 17, and he's navigating life with both fetal alcohol spectrum disorders, or FASD, and autism. The big challenge, the thing that really gets this whole story going, is his room. It's just persistently, overwhelmingly disorganized.
And this is where things get really interesting. The problem wasn't just, messiness. It was about the friction, this clash between how Ralph's brain works and the physical space he was in. So when you reframe it like that, you see it's not a character flaw at all. It's a mismatch. It's like trying to fit a square peg in a round hole.
Right. On to Section 2, the need for predictability. To really get why the solution worked, we first have to understand the why behind the struggle. And it all comes down to this need for things to be predictable.
So Ralph's diagnosis of FASD is a huge piece of the puzzle here. This condition can really impact something called executive functions. Think of executive functions as the CEO or the project manager inside your brain. It's the part that's in charge of organizing, planning, and just starting stuff. So when that system is challenged, a task like clean your room can feel like you're being asked to climb Mount Everest every single day.
And that brings us to the other piece of this, autism and this deep need for predictable spaces. For a lot of people on the spectrum, having an environment with a clear, consistent structure, well, it's not just about being tidy. It's about turning down the volume on anxiety and cognitive overload. It literally makes the world feel safer and a whole lot less chaotic.
Okay, so we've got the problem, and we've got the underlying need for predictability, which brings us to Section 3, the if-then solution. This is where everything changes.
Now here's the twist. The big breakthrough wasn't some new super strict rule. No way. The magic was in how the rules were made. Ralph wasn't just told what to do. He actually helped create the system. He went from being the target of the rules to being a co-creator. He had skin in the game right from the start.
So this is the awesome system they came up with together. It's based on this really simple but powerful logic, if-then. You start with a cue, a trigger. If my clothes are dirty, and you connect it right to the action. Then I put them in the hamper. And here's the genius part. Each step was paired with a picture. This made it a super clear visual guide that didn't depend on memory or complicated planning. Simple, right?
Section 4, a safe space, a new pride. Because this simple, co-created system did way more than just clean a room. It totally changed how Ralph felt in that space. It became a safe space, and he found this whole new sense of pride.
And this quote just says it all, perfectly. Now his room feels safe, and he takes pride in keeping it organized. Man, those two words are just everything, aren't they? Safe and pride. The goal was never just about having a clean floor. It was about fostering well-being and a real, genuine sense of accomplishment.
All right, Section 5, the power of co-creation. Let's zoom out for a second here, because Ralph's story is a perfect example of a much bigger idea. The incredible power of creating solutions together.
And this really lays it out, doesn't it? On one hand, you have imposed rules. When you just tell someone what to do, it can create resistance. It feels controlling. But on the other hand, you have co-created systems. And that changes everything. It builds ownership. It builds skills. And maybe most importantly, it protects and builds up a person's dignity.
And really, that's the bottom line. This is the difference between being managed and being empowered. Ralph wasn't just being managed. He wasn't just taught to follow a command. He was given the tools he needed to succeed on his own terms. And that is true empowerment. So, in the end, Ralph's story is about so much more than just a tidy room, right? It's a really powerful lesson in empathy, in seeing the world through someone else's eyes, and in collaboration. And it leaves us with a pretty big question to think about. Where in our own lives, at home, at work, wherever, can we stop just imposing rules and start creating solutions with people? Where can we turn a point of friction and frustration into a moment of real shared achievement?